And I'm looking up and 13 penalties for the Jets. But I will say this. The Broncos game plan was like 7 in the box, beat us. You know Sean Payton very well.
Yeah.
I think that flight back to Denver was one of the best flights he's had.
And it's been so long since they've been back to Denver. They won in Tampa, which was a huge win. And what Sean did in that game, and I spoke to him afterwards, was they won the coin toss. You never see teams receive anymore. He said, let's receive and let's give Bo Nix the confidence in this Tampa game. First drive, we're giving you the ball, go right down the field, march down the field, score. They did. All right, you finally have your first big scoring drive, and they blew out the Buccaneers. Instead of flying back to Denver, they stayed on the East Coast. They stayed at the Greenbrier, which is this resort. West Virginia. Well, they didn't realize Hurricane Helene was coming. So they run their entire Friday walkthrough in an indoor bubble that is not a football field. It's a hard court tennis court. So they're running their offense on a tennis court with 53 guys in running sneakers doing their entire game plan. So Sean is just, like, okay, but they were galvanized by this. They were all in this together. Now they go into this horrendous weather. Friday night, I saw a concert at Madison Square Garden. I'm not kidding. I knew Peyton was coming in, and he used to work with us at Fox. Jelly Roll. I don't know if you're a fan.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll should be doing the halftime show. That's my take. Anyway, I call up Peyton. I'm like, is there any chance? I know it's the season. And he was like, Shrakes, are you out of your mind? He's like, I am knee deep in Jets footage, and Vance Joseph is trying to stop this thing. Like, in my foolish head, I'm like, oh, maybe he can go out and go see a concert on a Friday night. Like, that's not where his head was. Their head was, let's go take care of the Jets and let's figure out a game plan. Yes, all the penalties, but Vance Joseph's defense was outstanding.
Yeah, it was.
And they didn't ask Bo Nix to throw 35 times in the rain.
Yeah.
They didn't ask Bo Nix to do anything he can't. He threw the touchdown pass to Cortland Sutton. That was enough. Jelly Roll was amazing, and so was Post Malone, who stepped up and did a song as well.
Yeah. Finally.
All right. Let's talk Bo Nix. Yeah. First off, I think actually he brought up something that I didn't really know. That I've been talked about with other teams, but the whole experience that the Broncos went through, right? Staying in the hotel like that, or the resort for the extended period of time, and then having the storm and being in the bubble and the tennis courts. I can't tell you enough how much that is team building. Those things, you get so connected to your guys. You're spending a lot of time with obviously your teammates to begin with, and you're at your facilities and all that. That becomes kind of almost like a home to you, though, right? Your locker room, the workout rooms, all the main things that you're mainly doing a lot. And of course, you're traveling and stuff like that to the various places for games. But when you're away for an extended period of time, for anyone who's never done that with a team, it's like you really get connected, right? You're really hanging out. You're having really weird, different conversations that you normally don't have. You start to really get deep in the inside jokes, like the connection, the team building. You just really start to really mesh, become a family. You start to just have like you're up at different hours. You're more isolated from your other normal friends and family and stuff like that. It just hits different. It's just a different experience entirely, especially if you're now adding this weather, this whole type of thing, and now you're like you're on tennis courts and doing something different. It's just like something that just feels different that. I can't emphasize this enough. Like it's just like a pressure cooker for team building, and it's awesome. So the fact that the Broncos were able to do this is actually great, and the fact that they were able to do it and then get a win is even better. Obviously, it still would have been beneficial even if they lost, but the fact that they get the win now, I think it just like is just really like marinades it even more. So to me, if you're a Broncos fan, like that's actually really exciting. It's those little things that really start to add up, give you some momentum, right? They have back-to-back wins now. I know this win was hardly a very beautiful win, right? 10-9. I mean, it was a bizarre game. I watched this whole game. It was one of the games where I watched multiple games at once, and it was a bizarre game, right? I mean, the weather was crazy. Bo Nix throwing for a whopping, 60 yards or whatever, and the Jets were somehow having Aaron throw like 40 some times. Like it was just kind of crazy. But you guys know how I am. I always try to find like the good and the negative for things. And the truth is it's like that's a tall task to ask a rookie quarterback on the road, right? New York. Crazy weather, and it was like again Aaron Rodgers was struggling. It's like Bo Nix isn't going to be looking hot and heavy either, so it was just a tough, ugly, rainy game, and it's tough for anyone. But the reality is like Bo Nix took care of the ball, right? I think he had 0 turnover worthy plays, which is a hugely important stat to me personally, because obviously turnovers themselves are bad, but it's like, what is the quarterback doing? Is the quarterback putting the ball in a place where it's going to obviously hurt your team? And he didn't. So I think that's great. So he never really put the defense on the back. In these types of games, we so often regularly see a rookie quarterback make mistake after mistake after mistake. And now you're giving the Jets extra points, extra possessions, and now they win the game easily, right? You're going to give a handful of extra possessions, or just one extra possession, or one fumble, one interception, and give the Jets great field position. They score a field goal, game's over, right? It's like they get the lead and they don't look back. So the fact that Bo Nix and Sean Payton, for that matter, were able to minimize that, I think is actually a lot more impressive than I think people really honestly understand. When it's a low-scoring, ugly, bad weather game, the name of the game is minimizing mistakes, and that's what the Broncos did. The run game for them was huge, obviously. The defense came out the gate, right? I mean, like, they went and attacked Aaron Rodgers, which is awesome. They first play sacked and forced fumble. I mean, like, they made the Jets just already uncomfortable out the gate. They continue to keep the game ugly and messy, and they never let Rodgers get comfortable. Because again, even with the weather being so bad, you're going to lean on a seasoned veteran, a Hall of Fame veteran, right? As good as it gets, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be the one that's going to be able to say, all right, guys, I can find a way through this. Let's go. And the fact that the Broncos kept forcing the Jets into like field goal attempts and never letting Aaron really get any type of rhythm, forcing the Jets to throw so much. Like, yeah, sometimes it's like you'll look at this and you'll say, okay, it's 10-9, right? We won 10-9. Our star rookie quarterback threw for 60 yards. Like, what's really positive about this game? And like I said, there's more positive than I think people realize. And so I think all in all, again, it was an ugly game. The Jets absolutely could have won it. The Broncos could have did better as well, right? Both teams could have done better. I think both teams would probably want a redo to a degree. But at the end of the day, this is a really tough game for the deck was stacked against the Broncos to win this game, right? Not only just because of the game day weather and considering the youth of this team, it's just the fact that they went through everything else. This had the Jets should have won this game, right? They should have been able to win this game. And the truth of the matter is that, yeah, there were some issues, but again, it's hard to really say if those were issues or if it was just the weather, which everybody was experiencing. And the Broncos just handled it better. And they made the Jets be uncomfortable the whole time. And they minimized their own mistakes. In a bad weather 10-9 game with a young team, rookie quarterback, that's a home run. We think of home runs like if it was Bo Nix and it was 24-10 and he threw for 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's a home run. But everything has to be put into perspective. And I'm not trying to act like this was like the greatest game ever. I'm really, really not. I'm not trying to pump this up to being like, this was an unbelievable moment. They should be throwing a parade for the Broncos. I'm not saying that either. But considering the circumstances, considering what everything and how it all unfolded, you actually should feel good about this, because a lot of teams worse or even better than the Broncos lose this game. They cough the ball up. They don't understand it. They take risks when they shouldn't, right? They throw interceptions. They just do things that are fundamentally wrong. And the fact that the Broncos did not, and Sean Payton, of course, did not, being the great coach that he is, and Bo Nix did not, I think to me, that's what makes it actually so successful. Ask yourself this question. If you're like, well, I don't really know what he's saying, he's just juicing this up for no reason. Ask yourself this. If this was the Chicago Bears in this situation with Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, do you think they would have found a way to win this game? Or do you think they would have had Caleb Williams throw the ball 44 times as well? And would they have had Caleb, trying to like constantly try to make something out of nothing? And now he gets sacked, takes a deep sack. Now they have to punt it to the Jets. And now the Jets are already in field goal range, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, those things happen all around the league. So the fact that it didn't is, to me, the biggest takeaway, and is actually a big victory, and bigger than I just think it's being emphasized. But that's just me. I'm a pretty optimistic person. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? about this win and what does this mean for the Broncos. Bo Nix throws his first NFL touchdown. Broncos are rolling, 2 wins. Let's go. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.